No one came to save them. That truth had settled over the convoy like cold dust in space. The alien ships drifted without power, without direction, and without hope. They were a mixed group of traders. Families and refugees, different species, different worlds, same fate. Their engines were dead, their weapons silent, their shields fading one layer at a time. Deep space surrounded them, endless and black. The kind of place where signals disappeared and prayers meant nothing. Their long-range comms had failed days ago. Short-range scanners showed nothing but wreckage and drifting ice. Inside the command ship, the lights were low to save power. Captain Cyril stood at the center console, staring at a map that no longer mattered. Every known route was too far. Every safe zone unreachable. Fuel levels blinked red. Oxygen numbers dropped by the hour. They had done everything right. They had paid their taxes, followed the rules, trusted the Galactic Council. When the pirate ambush came, help was supposed to arrive. Rescue fleets were supposed to respond to emergency beacons. That was the promise, but promises meant nothing out here. The first distress call was sent 3 days ago. Then another, and another. Each message was shorter than the last. Each reply was the same silence. Some worlds never answered. Others sent cold automated responses. Request denied. Insufficient strategic value. Survival not guaranteed, one empire replied with honesty. You are too far, and you offer nothing in return. That was when the truth became clear. No one was coming. In the lower decks, children huddled together. They asked their parents when the lights would come back. They asked why the ship felt colder. Parents lied gently. Saying help was close, they had to lie. Because hope was all they had left in the medical bay. The wounded were placed into sleep pods, not for healing, but to save oxygen. Doctors made impossible choices. Who sleeps? Who stays awake? Who breathes longer? Every choice hurt. Every decision felt like a quiet execution. Captain Cyril recorded a final log. Her voice was steady, but her hands shook. This is Convoy L-77. We followed the law. We asked for help. No one answered. She paused, then added one last line. We were abandoned. The message was sent on all frequencies. A desperate scream into a universe that did not care. Hours passed. The ships drifted closer together, sharing heat, sharing silence. The stars outside looked beautiful and cruel. Some crew members sat quietly, staring at the void. Others whispered prayers to forgotten gods. A few prepared for the end with calm acceptance. Then the sensors chirped. It was weak at first, almost a glitch. A single blip on the far edge of the scanner. An officer frowned and adjusted the settings. The signal remained. Probably debris, someone said. Or radiation echo, another replied. Captain Cyril leaned forward. Her voice was tired. Check it anyway, the officer did. The blip grew stronger, bigger, heavier. Mass readings climbed far beyond civilian scale. Silence filled the bridge. Fear replaced despair, because in deep space, only two things were that big: natural disasters or warships. Weapons officers laughed bitterly. Of course, one said. Death finally arrived. The children felt the change too. The ship vibrated softly, not an explosion, but something moving nearby. The signal came again, clearer now, not random, structured. A transmission. The screen flickered. Static filled the speakers. Then a voice cut through, calm and controlled. This is a human vessel. We detected your distress signal. No one spoke. No one breathed human. The word felt unreal. Humans were distant, strange, and unpredictable. They lived far from this region of space. They were not members of the Council. They did not patrol these lanes. The voice continued. You are not alone. Hold position. Some on the bridge laughed in disbelief. Others cried. A navigator whispered, "They came from the void, outside the viewport." Space itself seemed to bend. Darkness folded inward. And something massive emerged. It was not sleek or elegant. It was heavy, armored, and scarred. A warship built for survival, not beauty. Lights ignited across its hull, not weapons, but shields. Wide, protective, extending outward. The human ship moved closer, slow and deliberate, like a giant placing itself between danger and the weak. Captain Cyril finally spoke, her voice breaking. "You heard us?" The reply came instantly. "We always listen." For the first time since the ambush, the countdown stopped feeling final. The darkness no longer felt empty. Because when no one came to save them, humanity did. The human warship stayed beside the convoy, silent and steady, its shields wrapped around the broken ships like a wall against the dark. But safety had not erased the fear yet. Inside the convoy, no one celebrated. They had survived the moment, but not the truth. Too many hours had passed in silence. Too many calls had gone unanswered. Captain Cyril ordered a status check. Crew members moved slowly, still unsure if this was real. Power levels stabilized, just enough to keep systems alive. Oxygen stopped dropping, but it was still low. In the briefing chamber, leaders from each ship gathered on a shared screen. Different faces, different shapes, same exhaustion. No one spoke at first, because once hope returns, pain follows. An elder trader finally broke the silence. "Where were they?" he asked quietly. Where was everyone? The question hung heavy, not aimed at the humans, but at the galaxy itself, days earlier. They had done what the law demanded. They had activated emergency beacons. They had sent priority codes recognized by every major empire. Their request had been clear: civilian convoy under attack. Multiple species, children on board. The first reply came from a mining world, automated and cold. All rescue assets currently allocated. No apology. No delay explanation. The second reply came from a trade empire. They calculated fuel cost versus cargo value. The answer was simple: rescue not economically viable. A third message arrived from a warrior race. Their words were sharp and honest. Only the strong survive deep space. Then the council responded. A single unified message, carefully written, carefully empty. Rescue request acknowledged. Risk exceeds benefit. Convoy classified as lost. That message had broken something inside them. Because it was not silence, it was rejection. Parents remembered that moment clearly. That was when they stopped promising rescue to their children. That was when they started promising comfort instead. On one ship, a mother wrapped her arms around her daughter. She whispered stories of their home world, blue skies, warm rain, safe nights. The child asked one question again and again. Why don't they want us? There was no answer. In the command ship, Captain Cyril replayed the council message. Not out of anger, but disbelief. The galaxy had rules. Those rules were supposed to protect civilians. But rules bent when distance grew large. Meanwhile, the human ship waited. No demands, no questions, no lectures. A human officer finally opened a channel, not to command, but to ask, "Are there injured who need immediate care?" Medical teams moved fast. Human medics crossed into alien ships without hesitation. They did not ask about species, rank, or value. They treated whoever was closest. Some aliens watched carefully, expecting a price, expecting paperwork, expecting conditions. None came. An alien engineer finally asked a human technician, "Who approved this rescue?" The human paused, thinking, then answered simply, "We did." Confusion spread across the convoy. That answer did not fit the galaxy's system. There was always a council, a vote, a cost. Captain Cyril requested a private channel with the human captain. When the screen activated, she saw a calm human face. Tired eyes, steady posture. No symbols of empire, only a small human emblem. "You came very far," Cyril said. "This region is not yours." The human captain nodded. "We know." "Then why?" she asked. "You had no obligation." The human captain did not answer immediately. He looked at the drifting ships behind her, at the weak lights, the damaged hulls. Then he spoke. "Because you called. That was it. No treaty reference, no payment request, no political speech." The words spread quickly through the convoy. Crew members repeated them quietly. "Because you called." For many, it was the first time help had come without condition, without judgment, without calculation. In the distance, Council monitoring stations recorded everything: human ships entering a restricted zone, human medics assisting civilians, human shields protecting non-humans. Advisors argued, strategists panicked, because something dangerous was happening. The galaxy was watching a species break the rules, and the rules were losing. As the convoy stabilized, one truth became clear. The galaxy had turned away, but humanity had leaned in. And once that difference was seen, it could never be unseen. The human warship did not leave. It stayed in position like a silent promise, its massive hull blocking the cold void beyond. Sensors across the convoy slowly returned to life. Power lines stabilized. Navigation systems flickered back from red to yellow. For the first time in days, systems were not failing. But confusion spread just as fast as relief. Humans were not supposed to be here. They were not assigned to this sector. They had no trade routes nearby, no military reason to intervene. Alien commanders gathered again on the shared channel. This time their voices carried fear mixed with awe. One asked the question everyone was thinking. "What kind of ship is that?" Human technical data streamed in. Ship class: heavy rescue combat hybrid. Armor density beyond standard warships. Shield output strong enough to cover an entire convoy. Someone whispered. They built a warship to save people. On the human bridge, officers moved with calm discipline. No victory music, no dramatic orders, just quiet efficiency. Human engineers launched repair drones. The drones did not replace parts, they adapted, rewriting systems on the fly to fit alien technology. An alien technician watched in disbelief. "Our systems are incompatible," he said. A human engineer replied without looking up. Not incompatible, just different. As hours passed, more questions surfaced. One alien captain finally asked directly. "How did you find us?" The human captain answered honestly. "We heard your signal 2 weeks ago." Shock rippled through the channel. 2 weeks, someone repeated. "That distance is impossible." The human captain nodded. "It was difficult." That single word carried weight. Not impossible, just difficult. The convoy leaders exchanged looks. They realized something unsettling. Humans had chosen to cross dangerous space. Not for profit, not for territory, but because someone was in trouble. In the medical bays, children slowly woke from sleep pods. They blinked at the brighter lights, at strange human faces offering food and warm blankets. One child asked a human medic, "Are we safe now?" The medic smiled softly. Yes, that simple answer spread faster than any signal. Outside, long-range scanners detected movement. Old pirate wrecks drifted nearby, but no hostile ships approached. Because the human warship broadcast a single message, clear and unmistakable. This convoy is under human protection. The message was not loud. It did not threaten. It did not need to. In distant systems, pirate captains listened and changed course. Some had heard stories about humans, about stubborn defense, about overwhelming retaliation. They did not test it. Back in the convoy, Captain Cyril finally allowed herself to rest, just for a moment. She watched the human ship through the viewport, its surface scarred by past battles, every mark a story of survival. A human officer requested permission to dock, not to take command, but to coordinate escort routes. "You are taking us somewhere safe?" Cyril asked. "Yes," the human replied. "Wherever you need to go." That answer felt unreal. No forced relocation, no control transfer, just choice. Council monitoring arrays continued recording. Analysts whispered in concern. Humans were setting a precedent, a dangerous one. If rescue was possible without benefit, if help did not require permission, then the galaxy system was broken. As the convoy prepared to move, navigation lights aligned. Engines warmed under human power. One alien officer said quietly, "The void answered us." Another corrected him. No, humans did, and as the convoy followed the human warship toward safety, one truth became impossible to deny. This was not just a rescue. It was a warning. The age of calculated mercy was ending, and something stronger had arrived. As the convoy moved under human escort, something changed inside the ships. Fear was still present, but it no longer ruled. The silence of waiting for death had been replaced by quiet motion. Human crews rotated shifts without complaint. They did not treat the convoy as cargo. They treated it like responsibility. Supply corridors opened between ships. Food packs designed for humans were adjusted for alien biology. Water was filtered and shared without ration threats. Every action sent the same message: you matter. An alien quartermaster studied the human logistics feed. "These resources," he said carefully, "you could sell them." A human officer nodded. "Yes, and why give them away?" The human answered simply. "Because you need them." That answer spread through the convoy faster than any announcement. It did not fit any known doctrine. It ignored profit, power, and politics. In the medical bays, human doctors worked alongside alien healers. They shared techniques without claiming ownership. They adapted treatments for bodies they had never seen before. Mistakes were corrected quietly. Success was shared openly. One alien healer finally asked the question many feared. "What do you expect in return?" The human doctor looked surprised. "Nothing." That word felt heavier than any contract. On the bridge, Captain Cyril watched human navigation officers plot multiple safe routes. Not just one exit path, but backups and backups for those backups. "You plan as if something will go wrong," she observed. The human captain nodded. "Something always does." There was no fear in his voice, only preparation. As hours turned into a day, conversations began, not strategic talks, but personal ones. Humans asked where the aliens came from, what their homes looked like, what food they missed, what songs they sang to their children. No one had asked them those things before. One alien child sat beside a human engineer, watching repair drones dance across a cracked hall. The child asked, "Why do humans help strangers?" The engineer thought for a moment, then said, "Because once we were strangers too." That answer stayed with the child. Meanwhile, council channels filled with concern. Advisors warned that humans were destabilizing the balance. That compassion without control was dangerous. That rescue created dependency. Humans ignored the warnings. They focused on the convoy, on restoring engines, on stabilizing families, on making sure no one was left alone. A human communications officer intercepted council signals. He reported them to his captain. The captain listened, then closed the channel. "Not our priority," he said. As the convoy neared safe space, a final meeting was held. Alien leaders thanked the human crew formally, offering trade rights, protection packs, political support. The human captain declined politely. "We did not come for alliances," he said. "Then why come at all?" an alien asked. The human captain looked out toward the convoy, toward children playing in brighter corridors, toward ships moving under their own power again. Because someone had to, the words echoed quietly, not as a speech, but as a truth. As the human warship adjusted course to remain behind the convoy, covering every vulnerable angle, it became clear that humanity was not just different. Humanity was incompatible with a galaxy that calculated worth. And that difference would soon force the galaxy to choose. The convoy reached safe space slowly, not because it had to, but because no one wanted the moment to end too quickly. Lights grew brighter inside the ships. Engines hummed with steady strength. Navigation markers appeared where there had once been only darkness. For the first time since the ambush, children ran through corridors instead of whispering. Parents slept without fear of alarms, and captains stopped counting oxygen minutes. At the edge of a neutral system, the convoy finally halted. Safe ports opened their gates. Docking bays expanded to receive them. Officials rushed to greet survivors. But the attention was not on the convoy alone. Every sensor, every recorder, every council relay was focused on one thing: a human warship. Council representatives demanded explanation. They questioned authority. They cited laws and borders. They asked why humans had acted without approval. The human captain responded once, short and calm. We answered a call. No defense followed. No justification, because none was needed. Recordings of the rescue spread across the galaxy. Children wrapped in human blankets. Alien ships sheltered under human shields. Medics treating strangers as family. The public watched in silence, then with discomfort, then with something close to shame, because everyone saw the same truth. Rescue had been possible. Help had been reachable. They had simply chosen not to come. Worlds that once denied aid issued statements. Carefully worded, carefully late, the convoy ignored them. Instead, they remembered the moment humanity arrived. From nothing, from darkness, from the void, in council chambers. New debates began. Old policies were questioned. Old rules cracked under pressure. One proposal rose above the rest. A new clause in galactic law, simple and dangerous. It was called the human exception. The rule stated, if humans respond to a distress call, no power may interfere, no cost may be demanded, no life may be judged unworthy. Some protested, many feared what it meant, because it changed everything. As the convoy prepared to scatter toward homeworlds, Captain Cyril requested one final private channel. You changed us, she said. You changed how we see the galaxy. The human captain shook his head. No, he replied. We just showed you what was always possible. The human warship turned slowly, preparing to leave. No parade, no reward ceremony, just departure. Children stood by viewports and waved. Adults bowed their heads in quiet respect. The convoy sent one final message, not a distress call, but a promise. We will answer when others call. The human ship disappeared back into the dark, returning to patrol routes unknown, listening for signals others ignored. And across the galaxy, one lesson remained, written into memory, not law. When no one came to save them, humanity did.